It's Tuesday, and you know what that means. It's IndyCar night on iRacing. Hello again, everyone. I'm Gary Gotzo. Welcome to P1's broadcasting coverage of Round 9 of Season 3 of the 2024 IndyCar Oval Series Tuesday night top split right here on ERN. We're coming to you from the world's fastest speedway. Of course, that is California Speedway. Rest in peace in Fontana. The third stop on the P1 Triple Crown Challenge. And boys, the Triple Crown is on the menu for tonight. Robert Malechka won at Michigan earlier this season, won at Indianapolis. We could see a rare Triple Crown win tonight. But more importantly, I think we're going to see pretty much much more of the same that we always see here at Fontana. Is a lot of close wheel-to-wheel racing. Joining me in the booth, of course, it is my version of the Three Musketeers. It is Stephen Larkamp, Justin Petschauer, and the infamous LGN. Guys, welcome to the broadcast.
And welcome back to a track that sadly we'll never see a race again, at least not on the track that we see here tonight. California Speedway, mostly known as Auto Club Speedway recently anyway. Track was sadly demolished after its final race in 2023, and there's plans, of course, to build a short track in its place, but I'm still of two ways about that one. I'm not sure how progress is going with that. I'm sure Justin could tell me a bit more on that one for sure. But this track, always watch for close racing at upwards of 230 miles an hour. 241 miles an hour, of course, was the average speed set here by Gilles de Ferran back in 2000. The fastest lap ever turned in a session of motor racing. And we're not going to see those sort of speeds tonight. I'm looking at Robert Malechka III. He is touching 220 miles an hour on his Q run, going through 3 and 4. But RM3, as you said, he has got a Triple Crown shot on the line. One at Michigan, one at Indianapolis. Can he pull off the triple and win at Fontana, just outside of Los Angeles? He has gone to the pole, and that is already a great start. But like any race at California Speedway, he is going to have to fight for it.
Boy, look at these top 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are lined up basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in terms of I rating, and that's how they get their numbers. And they are lined up in the first 5 spots. And already it is time to go racing, boys. Let's get today's starting lineup taken care of here.
And leading the way, as we have seen him several times this season, Robert Malechka III in the number 1. We'll be starting alongside the number 2, as you said, Gary. The top 5 on the track are the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 cars in terms of their car numbers, as dictated by their I rating. So it's going to be Malechka alongside Jacob Oster in the number 2. Row number 2 will be Philip Kraus and AJ Musselman, making a return at his home track here of Auto Club Speedway. It's always great to see the Muscle Man back in the car once more, and he will be starting ahead of Trace Shadid in 5th place in row number 3. He'll be alongside the 20 machine of Matthew Ponto. Very good qualifying run for him. Blaze Andrich in the number 22 will be starting off 7th alongside Seb Alexander in the number 8, starting 8th. Again, Adriano Frapporti in number 9, starting 9th, alongside our old friend Clendy. Kyle Clenworth in the number 7 will be running out your top 10. Ty Quilla, number 10 car, will be starting off 11th, alongside the 18 of Bruno Romanzini, 11th and 12th. Stephen Lee and Masato Shimizu, 13th and 14th. Stephen Lee in the 14, Shimizu in the 21. William Stearns in the 15th spot in the 23, alongside Dustin Kares in the 19, starting 16th. Chase Cabry, another good, bit of a struggle, it would seem, for the number 12 machine, will be starting off 17th alongside another friend of the show of ours, Antonio Estrada. Rough qualifying run for him in the 18th spot in the number 13 car. Jacob Collins will be starting in 19th alongside Stephen Burge in the 25. That rounds out your top 20. Lane Doyle, the last driver to post a qualifying time in the number 26 car, alongside Benjamin White in the number 6. Second to last row of the grid, numbers 23 and 24, Brian Campbell in the 11 and Ben Rinaldi in the 16. And the final row, Elijah Gilson in the 25, starting from pit road on this race from what I'm seeing of him. And he would have been alongside Nathan Cerna in the 24. And we're going to roll off here for 60 laps under the California sun. And that California sun looks a bit on the toasty side today. 85 degrees ambient temperature, and the track is 115. So this is going to be... Yeah.
Did Robert and Jacob and Philip? They're playing games. They're going to start from pit road.
They all of the top 4 are starting from pit road.
Now, so worse from first challenge.
Now, to be fair to them, this is a track where you can definitely make up a lot of track position here, but this is definitely going to be a gamble. But as a gamble, I've seen the likes of Malechka and Ulster play before, but it's going to hand the pole to Trace Shadid, and he'll be alongside Matthew Ponto as the impromptu pole sitter. So let's see how this all goes in this this bold strategy of all members of what would have been the top 4 on the grid. They got 60 laps to make up for it, though. Pace car peeling off. Shadid waiting on the throttle, and he goes. Green flag flies. We're racing in California. Ponto. Go ahead.
Already a number of cars, as you see, starting to spread out there, trying to find ways to take it easy on the start here as they go out through 1 and 2. A wide enough surface as they go through 1 and 2, especially 3 and 4. You can get away with running 5 wide here at times if you know what you're doing, but with the way this track temperature is, they go down the backstretch, it's going to be, like you said, a little bit on the toasty side as they go through 3 and 4.
Ponto up high, and he is in a very, very special car to me. He doesn't know this, but that is baby Gary's very first Indy car that was ever purchased for him in the store, the Sunoco Special. That was really made famous by Donahue, the 1972 Indy 500 winner. Good to see the Sunoco Special out there. That brings back some very positive memories.
That's a beautiful Penske homage there on the number 20 machine, but look who's a lot of time. Clendy to the lead on the low side, and he clears Trace Shadid. Great start from Clemworth. Was 10th in qualifying, and now in the lead of the race. That's just I know 4 cars start from pit road here, but that is just how the game can be played here in the Inland Empire. As Seb Alexander looking around the high side of the Penske Special. The number 8 moving up into 3rd position behind Shadid and Clemworth. Good start for him. Look at that dive down the low side there for Stephen Lee, going 3 wide in the 3.
Well, Seb should be happy. There's no Brandon here today. Trost is not in the lineup.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. No sight of his arch nemesis Brandon Trost, but Trace Shadid
3 wide, 4 wide. Come on, boys! Oh, Stephen Lee.
Lee almost drifting up into Adriano for Porty on the move as well. And look at Ty Quilla on the high side here. As I'm looking at the 19, Dustin Cares on the move. Starting to make that high side work here. You could definitely make the high line work here at Auto Club in traffic and
There's
in the
Quilla,
draft here.
Quilla on the high side there.
Such a tense of a game.
Yeah, Quilla on the high side, getting a good run 3 wide right behind him at the start-finish line. Boys, if I was really racing in this up at the front, I would get in line because that group of Malechka, Kraus, Musselman, and Ulster, they're actually kind of starting to gain.
Oh, yeah, but I'm seeing one driver who's not really paying attention to that whole mantra there. And that's Chase Cabry in 6th position from 17th on the grid.
Now 4th.
And now down on the low side of Ponto, that is for 4th place.
He's made some tremendous moves in that Valvoline scheme there, going up towards the front.
Here's Stephen Lee on the inside.
His spots. Yep, Stephen Lee going to the inside, almost 3 wide again. The middle lane has to back out of it because of so much turbulent air, especially with the way this wind is. They've been complaining a lot about the winds out of the west at 13 miles an hour now, so it's bouncing between 10 and 13 miles an hour. But even with just that amount of wind, it could still throw the handling of the car off.
Yeah, and I know like the stereotype is that California doesn't have weather, but we definitely do. I'm sure, like, I know you're from Vegas, Justin, but I know you can attest to that, and we're seeing that in the virtual realm here tonight.
California doesn't have weather? What was that? what was that in the fall of last year with that hurricane that rolled through and hit us as well?
Yep. Yeah, sometimes the stereotypes don't really line up. But it's Kyle Clenworth still holding on to that race lead, and Chase Cabry on the charge, low side of Seb Alexander, and move him from 17th to 3rd. What a drive.
Make that second.
Well.
Make that second.
And I think he's going to first here. Here he goes.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah, there you go.
He had too big of a run. Too big of a run to waste it.
17th on the grid to the lead of the race, and we're working lap number 8 of 60.
Yeah, but that lead is not going to last for long as they go through turns 3 and 4 here up on the high side. Chase Cabry still goes with Clenworth taking back the lead. This is going to be a slingshot race, I can already tell. Here he goes again. Chase Cabry to the high side. Almost contact with Clenworth as they go past the start-finish line here, side by side, off into one.
That was Trey Shadid actually fighting in for the lead, and he's actually scored his lead of the line 6 1/1000ths of a second at the stripe. Shadid and Cabry. Kyle Clenworth, the interested spectator in this whole affair there. Cabry now diving down to the low side there as Shadid seemed to back out to give him room.
I like Chase's take on that Valvoline paint scheme on an IndyCar. We have not seen that in a very long time. The last thing I think we've seen Valvoline on an IndyCar was Walker Racing and Kart. I think that might have actually been Gilles de Ferran the last time we actually saw it on somebody. That's a pretty good looking livery he's got on that. It might be, dare I say, it might even be NASCAR inspired, but it looks real good on an IndyCar. Normally that NASCAR livery, so you slap them on an IndyCar, just don't look good. That actually looks pretty darn good.
Oh yeah, sometimes the broken clock's right twice a day there.
I'll beg to differ. The one Valvoline NASCAR Valvoline scheme that actually does fit perfectly on the IndyCar, Johnny Benson's 2002/2003 scheme.
I need to see that for myself.
Johnny who?
I don't remember Robbie Gordon.
Robbie Gordon, yeah. That's the one I remember.
That Valvoline scheme, it's up on trading pace.
4 wide, 3 wide in the middle.
Roman Zini really diving down on the low side there. Seb Alexander is the beneficiary of all of this as Clenworth tucks in behind him. And look at Seb diving down the low side. Well, great run into turn number 3. Move the number 8 to the point.
Meanwhile, Malechka, Kraus, Oster, they are almost at the back of this pack.
Oh. Somebody almost got put up in the wall up on the front straightaway here.
So easy to do here. Everyone fighting for whatever piece of real estate they can. As Seb Alexander gets by Trey Shadid again on the low side there, and Chase Cabry sitting back there in 3rd position as Clenworth and Stephen Lee fighting it out. Lee very close.
Yes.
Almost contact.
If we can hold our breath just for 1 second. Of course, this is a 2-mile over, doing 60 laps tonight, 120 race miles. Keep in mind, no fast repairs, guys. 3 sets of tires, 1 in the car, 2 in the pits. We do have tire limits here. Want to thank everybody for joining us, and if you have not done so already, make sure to help keep the positive momentum right here on ERN. If you enjoyed the coverage, make sure to smash like and also subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future ERN broadcasts. Coming to lap 14 with Seb Alexander, the IAR star, at the head of the pack. We're going to go 3 wide in the 1 with Chase Cabry on the bottom.
Chase Cabry, 2 for 1 to the lead of the race, drifts way up high there. Seb Alexander is going to have the toe down the back straightaway, and here he comes again to the low side. Trey Shadid looking for whatever ground he can here or just settle into the rhythm here, but usually that rhythm tends to go away after a little while once you realize the kind of momentum you can get.
Yeah, but with the sends he's been doing in turn 1 for Chase Cabry, he's probably he has to start keeping an eye on that tire wear because the more he keeps doing that, the more he's going to wear that right front tire out.
Yeah, that low line, definitely with a hot track, 114 degrees, is going to grind that tire down.
Especially on a surface as old as this.
Look how bouncy they are in the backstretch. These cars just bouncing. These cars don't like to bounce. Let's put it that way.
They do not. And if I recall right, Auto Club Speedway never saw a repave in its entire existence.
Nope.
From 1997 until 2023, same surface, and it got bumpy towards the end of its life. And Chase Cabry, again, riding the bumps down on that low side there. Makes it work, though. and gets up to the lead once more. And these guys going back and forth, kind of reminiscent of a certain Penske duo back in 2000 at the start of the Marlboro 500.
Yep. I think we all of us know how that one went for Penske Racing.
Yeah, not great, but I mean that race was. Yeah.
Oh!
Hey.
Stack up here in the front straightaway. Huge stack.
Trying to get
Big
the camera
check
changed back to that,
here.
right in the middle pack. We
There
were
we go.
riding with Clindy when that happened. Of course, yeah, we're seeing everybody jockeying for position right now. Oster up to 16th.
Malechka still hanging towards the rear of the pack there as a car was actually dropping back through the field.
Ponto
It was-
lose the front wing.
Matthew Ponto in trouble. The Penske special with no
Oh, yeah.
front wing on that
Yeah,
car.
there it is. No front nose.
No front nose, period. What has happened?
He got involved in that stack up on the front straightaway, lost that front nose completely, and went up into the
Yeah.
wall and started ricocheting, as they would say.
Indeed, and he's got it down onto pit road. So, unfortunately, that looks like game, set, and match for Matthew
Well,
Ponto.
let's see what
as set
happened.
off
He was on the
Chase Avery.
high side of Ty, and it gets crowded up there. And now Ty doesn't really have much to go because he's going to have a teammate to his inside. Now he doesn't have a teammate. Oh, Ty just comes up. The 16, which is Stephen Burge. Actually, no, he's P16. That's Rinaldi. Kind of spooked Ty to go high, and he makes contact with Ponto.
Just one of those little things here. 225 miles an hour. Little things can lead to disaster.
Yeah, a little spook, a little twitch of the wrist, and it's not going to take much.
As well as the aero wash.
Oh, yeah. That's always going to be a factor at any track, and Auto Club is no exception to the rule. Because once again, Cabri and Alexander still going back and forth. We're a third of the way through, working lap number 20, and we are about to get into the pit stop window for drivers to come in to make it to the end on fuel.
They should be able to make it to the end on fuel, barring a caution. Knock on wood.
Indeed so, and that very fortunate that incident before did not bring out a yellow, that no cars lost control at the end of the day, at least not to the extent that there was a car stuck on track. Is everyone still getting themselves fighting for whatever position they can here as Rinaldi, I'm looking on the inside of Adriano Forporti. This is for 8th place. And meanwhile, up on the high side, Benjamin White in the Neon Visa car up there, making his presence known from 22nd to 11th. Solid start for the number 6 machine.
Very solid start, working his way up through the field. Ooh. What do we got here?
Oh.
Everyone's-
I thought that Doyle and Will Stern it too close. I don't know how he want Doyle.
there's contact. There's Will Stern.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And that's Doyle to the inside.
Lane Doyle gets it down onto the apron after the contact there.
And that's a toe,
And
but
pulls
there's
it
not
to
going to
a
be a
stop.
caution.
No caution there. Went sideways, but still no yellow. He hits the wall and resets. So the Bucky's car, the number 26 machine, making a very unfortunate incident there.
Now, two
So
things real
what I
quick.
saw-
Go right ahead. Go right ahead,
So
LGN.
what I saw on the back straight, Doyle tried to pass him Stearns for the right side. So Stearns closed the door, and and then he tried to pay back, but he did wrong something.
So watching Nick Nieman's stream last week from our top split race that he participated in, our top split broadcast, he didn't know what this design on Stern's car was, and of course I was watching it, and of course, come on, man, that's a Van Halen scheme. And so he gave, because he didn't know what it was, he gave in his own game, he gave Stearns a new livery. I think it might have been a Ray Hall Letterman livery, but I'm like, come on, appreciate the Van Halen scheme. Very appropriate here for California. Car in the wall,
Yes.
and that is Antonio Estrada.
Estrada in trouble trying to nurse the car. Keep it up towards the wall. Don't come down into another
Okay,
car
good job.
here.
Good job.
Very
Good
good
job.
job.
Very good job.
Romancini.
And I think we're getting to the point where the guys that really pushed the envelope early here, they're starting to feel the tire wear, particularly in the draft. These guys are cooked their tires, and they are fighting for whatever morsels of grip they can. Doesn't matter what line they're trying to take, they are having a hard time at the moment here, especially with the aero wash.
I saw Romancini with Estrada kind of net code over there.
Meanwhile, I'm looking up towards the leaders. This still have the two leaders as we've seen before, still fighting it out. But Trey Shadid, Stephen Lee, Kyle Clemworth, and Dustin Cares fighting it out for the remaining spots in the top 6. And Clendy getting a run on... no, Stephen Lee, I should say. Getting a run.
Whoa. Who is that shooting down? That's Benjamin... no, I don't know who that is. Rinaldi.
Ben Rinaldi in trouble.
Look at this. And he's in the Larson livery, that's fine.
And smacks that wall coming onto pit road here and just lost it, hit the wall.
That's
and
a little too much weight.
Yeah,
it's a little too much weight jacker on corner exit. Makes that back end of the car come right around, and that's when you're just ratcheting up, just trying to get these cars to rotate. And on the exit of 2, on the exit of 4, that back end gets real light if you have too much weight jacker there, and that looks like that, and combined with hot tires, is probably what was the cause there. But 28 of 60 coming to the halfway point. Yep, and experience coming to the halfway point here.
Well, also, you have to take into consideration the rear 80 roll bar as well.
Oh, yeah. Gotta be very careful with how loose you make the rear of the car here.
Most of the time, if you set up for anti-roll bars to be loose, at least my experience is you're going to brake when you go into the corner. That's where the back end's going to break loose. The weight jacker normally is late on exit of the corner. At least that's how my experience is. If anybody else in chat had a similar experience or a different one, just speak up.
And this fight towards the front here, as you said, Justin, we're getting close to the halfway mark. These guys are still getting pretty chippy at the moment at the front of the field. It's still, you can throw a blanket over them, the top 8 drivers within a second of each other.
Yeah, I think there's a couple guys in the back of this first pack here that are... Here comes Shimizu on the bottom. He's going up to 5th. But I think Clendy has kind of cooled down a little bit. And I think he's actually up there saving fuel now. He hasn't... Have you noticed? He hasn't really made any moves to the front to try to lead. He's just kind of held his spot there in like 4th, 5th, 6th, right in that area. Kept his nose clean. And I got to tell you, he's got to be thinking about what those guys in the back, Malechka and Musselman and Kraus and Oster are doing, because they're doing massive fuel saves so they could make this first stint much longer than everyone else and then try to do the overcut on everybody when they come to pit road. So we shall see. I think maybe I'm wrong, but I think Clendy's taking things patiently, even though he just moved up a spot.
Yeah, Clendy seems to be playing the smart game at the moment, and now I'm guessing because he saved his tires a little bit up on that high line. Clendy now up to 3rd place late on in this opening stint, as the 2 leaders have been going back and forth for really most of the first half of this race. As Seb Alexander getting a bit close to the wall there. So much so Clendy had to jump on the radio.
A little too close.
Musselman has the purple lap, 32.5. That's no surprise there. AJ is very fast at this place. Your top 5, Alexander, Cabri, Clendy, Shadid, and Shimizu.
Romancini coming onto pit road. This looks like a scheduled stop for the 18 machine. First scheduled stop of the day.
He's going to try to see how many people he can come out in front of by just coming in here and doing a bit of a short fill.
Clendy tried to send it.
Meanwhile, Clendy on the low side of Chase Cabri moved the 7 back to the lead of the race. So Kyle Clemworth playing it very cool and collected throughout the opening line. Here
comes Jacob Oster. He's finally moved up to the top 10.
And Phil Kraus not too far, sitting in 12th position. So the fast guys, and Robert Malechka, by the way, sitting in 14th, about a second off of Blaze Andrich ahead of him.
Yeah, he needs to stay in the draft. Needs to stay in that draft.
He definitely needs to. I know Malechka's been known to make up a lot of distance, but that's going to be harder for him to recover from, being a full second in arrears of the pack in front. He needs that air big time. Oh, contacted 1 and 2. Sideways goes. Who was that? That was that Jacob Alster?
No, it was Dustin Cares.
Dustin Cares, I should say. Cares went sideways. No, it wasn't. It was Oster. It was Jacob Alster that went sideways in 1 and 2. Saved it beautifully. Didn't lose too many spots there, and I don't think he damaged the car too much there, but we are definitely getting pretty fighty at the moment as we're getting to the end of the opening stint. These guys got to pit soon.
He goes 3 wide, and Quilla is right behind him. He just turns on in there, and I don't think he had necessarily any dirty air. Well, yeah, he starts floating up, and he does make contact with Cares. That was a little bit more on Oster's part, a little less on everyone else around him. He just kind of slid on up, got lucky, and caught it.
Very fortunate that didn't end up worse for Jacob Alster. And now catching right back up to Dustin Cares and Ty Quilla. This is the battle now for 7th place. And Jacob Alster, Team I5G on the low side, trying to get 2 for 1 again. He's got clean air on that low side of the track and clears both of them. Beautiful work.
Yeah, but I don't think Ty's going to let him keep it for very long. At least he's taking a trade to look at the inside, but no draft help there, as Shadid had the draft aid to Oster that time. Now we got a leader coming to pit road. Cabry coming to pit road right now. Get the camera on him.
Stephen Lee coming in too. A few more drivers starting to make their way down pit road. 55-mile-an-hour speed limit, and it's always agony at a place like this.
Well, we'll see where Roman Zini pops out in all this mess as well, as now the first round of stops is starting to occur. We want to show you the points here real quick, but we'll wait till after the pit stops, as the point situation for the series is pretty tight. There goes Seb Alexander. Pit road. There goes Shadid for pit road. And here comes Jacob Oster from the back to the front and to the lead.
Trey Shadid came to pit road here, but Alster up on the high side of Kyle Clemworth. Still wheel to wheel as they make their way off of 2. Alster with that high side run. He's going to have the momentum up there. Can Clendy get it back on entry on the low side?
Leader pit road.
One more lap. They're staying out for.
What I wish iRacing would do, like what they did with Homestead, I wish they would do like an open wheel configuration for Auto Club here. We got one. I think we got one going around. Yep.
Trying to see who that was.
Steven
it was
Burge?
Dustin Cares.
Is it Dustin Cares? Okay, I'd say Dustin. I see Burge on the apron, coming up to speed. I'll get it on Cares. Cares is 11th there. He is, but still green.
Cares recovering. Still gets green there. That
our broadcast really reminds me of this. There's kind of a meme video out there now that is going around the IndyCar community of the a replay of the 2015 race here, but it's nothing but just the sounds the guys made in the booth. So every time you watch the video, it's like,
it's like every time.
That's what our broadcast sounds like here. Here comes Clindy. Here comes Oster.
Alster and trying to see
Shimizu.
Shimizu coming in.
So
no, not Shimizu. Sorry, a number of cars are new that we're not used to seeing. Sorry.
Yeah, new paint schemes. It looks like it's Benjamin White.
Yeah, Benjamin White.
The 6 machine coming on the pit road slides into his
he
box
slides
there,
through. Yeah.
It.
So what happened with Dustin
missed.
Cares going through 1 and 2? He did one thing you don't do in an IndyCar. Apron bad.
Apron bad.
The apron claims another victim, unfortunately, as more cars coming down on the pit road. Clendy down and away. Does he beat Alster off the pit road?
No, he doesn't, but it's a drag race. And
Yep.
at the very least, he's got a drafting buddy and a really good one at that. There goes Cabri around him, along with Alexander. So they got the over on him.
Phil Krause to pit road.
Quilla for Porty have yet to pit. Same thing with Brian Campbell, last week's winner.
And how did Phil Krause signal he was going into the pits? Beast stop.
Very nice. As Ty Quilla joins him, and Adriano for Porty inherits the lead.
Going long for Porty, 43 laps in his current stint.
Malechka also pitted. Shimizu also pitted. Jacob Collins as well.
Back to what I was saying before Dustin Carrick decided to say hello to the apron in 1 and 2. What I wish iRacing would do for Auto Club here is what they did with Homestead.
Yep.
Create a NASCAR layout, that way you could come off a turn
IndyCar
4
layout,
instead
yeah.
of-
Yep.
and extend the pit road entry.
Yeah, there's only a very... Clindy goes purple that lap, 2:22.4. There's only a certain number of tracks like that. Nashville's one of them. And I know that Homestead is one of them. But there's very
Indianapolis is
few.
another.
Yeah. What's that?
No, Nashville is not one of them.
It's not? I thought they had a separate road where you could come to use a pit road.
Nope.
I know leagues have used that rule there. Let's get back up to the front, though. Here, looking to make sure that we're not missing anything. But Stephen Lee now in the battle.
One that should have it is Iowa, if I may opine.
Yes. Clindy purple again to 23.020. Clindy on the move.
Clendy is flying behind these guys, catching right back up to what was the lead battle for Porty. Keep an eye on when he comes down on the pit road. He just did, of course.
Yeah, he's done. Everybody's done. Everyone's made their first and only stop.
And Clendy on the high side. He's
Whoa!
getting
3 wide. He's making
Cabri.
lane changes like he's on 465.
Oh man, he's like, you know how some people on the 405 will get into their exit even if they're all the way from the left lane. Yeah.
Oh, I missed my exit.
Yeah. And Clendy did not miss his exit. He is back in the lead, and here comes. That is Seb Alexander on the low side of Cabri, making this fight more interesting.
Oh,
Seb trying to squeeze
Seb Brazilian clear. We're gonna go 4 wide, boys, in the 1.
Woo, 4 into turn number 1.
Jacob Oster on the other side. But here comes Clint. He's going to have a little bit of higher head of steam, and he's going to go to the inside and probably get that position back. And Cabri's like, you know what? I'm going to do exactly what you did just a couple laps ago and do some rapid lane changes. I'll go to the bottom, and I'll pick up the lead.
Yeah. Typical California driver behavior, some would argue, but 220 miles an hour, and these guys play for keeps for certain. And Clendy back in the
4
lead.
wide, almost 5 wide.
Oh, 4 wide again.
We were close to 4 wide, but not close
Almost.
enough.
Ulster and Clemworth side by side off of turn number 2. Stephen Lee now looking to the outside. Here comes Cabri again. Cabri being very aggressive on this run here, coming to 12 to go.
At certain times when those tires are going to get worn out, you can't send it 4 wide at the bottom like that and expect it to hold.
And I'm sure Clendy knows that. Seeing the aggressive moves that Cabri is doing. Clendy all the way up on that high side.
Oh, big twitch by Cabri.
I think that was netcode there for Cabri and Ulster. He got it up, though. Beautifully done by Chase Cabri, but that's a lot of momentum.
That checked up the whole middle portion of that pack. I think everybody checked up except for Clinworth and Oster, who just rocking it out front.
Yep, keep your foot in it. No problems here, they said. And Phil Krause,
what netcode?
Stephen Lee.
I didn't see any netcode.
You think it was a mechanical issue?
No. That's probably what those two are saying. Like, what netcode? I didn't see any netcode.
Yes.
Arca break it.
Really saying that too. The Stephen Lee lost a lot of momentum there off the corner here, and here comes Phil Krause. And he's going to be probably looking to the inside going into 3.
Yeah, we're watching Krause, 10 to go, and Malechka in that second group is starting to make moves. Got up to 8th as he got around for Porty and Quilla, but now back in line. Musselman gets pushed up to the wall. He grabs it back. Now is a near miss. We're still clean and green. Well, I wouldn't say clean, but we've been green the entire way. 10 to go. Can Malechka get up there and get this Triple Crown as these laps tick off? It seems less and less of a possibility. He needs a caution.
He definitely needs one. 4 seconds in arrears of the lead pack and fighting it out with Adriano Forporti. This is not going to do him any favors. He's going to be begging and pleading the iRacing gods for a car to spin out and not go onto the massive apron on the back straightaway and just gather it up.
44.98 strength of field.
Once again, an all-star cast tonight. Some all-stars sitting it out this time, but we still got a lot of star power in the IndyCar scene showing up to race. I wouldn't say it's close to Hollywood, knowing how SoCal is. But it's definitely as close to Hollywood as we're gonna get in the iRacing scene. And
Caution! There it is!
Romancini.
There it is!
Romancini.
Bruno
And
Romancini.
Romancini.
Another car on his roof. That's Stephen Burge in the 25. What has happened with them?
And Romancini, he just got loose on his own, and Burge goes right over him.
Just loses it on his own, loose off exit, and Burge flying airborne over the top of Romancini and on his...
Oh my goodness. And now, guys, Robert Malechka's back in this thing.
Malechka time.
It's what time is it, Elgin?
Malechka time.
Malechka time indeed. This is exactly what he was looking for, and I think he may have been thinking to himself,
Oh, that's awesome.
Momentum.
You know when you play Mario Kart and throw something on the back and it's going on the front, explode or something like that?
Yeah.
A blue shell.
Exactly.
Yep.
Well, now
So
we can
with Bruno Mazzini.
let's take a breath here. Once again, if you're just joining us, you're watching P1's coverage of round 9 of 12 with the IndyCar Oval Series Tuesday night top split on ERN, coming to you from Fontana, where Jacob Oster has been slugging it out the front with Kyle Clinworth for much of this second portion of this race since pit stops. But if you're enjoying the race, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race. Also, don't forget your commentary team, guys. We do this for free for the community. We rely on your donations, so feel free to send us a donation to our GoFundMe. Link is in the description. Whew. Everybody take a breath. Take a breath.
Indeed.
Take a breath.
Oh. Everyone breathe. This is gonna be a good finish, but just relax. It's Jacob Oster, Kyle Clemworth, Stephen Lee. They really did not want to see this scenario here. We don't have too many laps to go, but it would be just enough for Malechka and company to make a lot of headway and possibly contend for a win here.
Could be 3 to go or 2 to go.
I think it's going to be more along the lines of probably 4 to go. Maybe we'll see. Lights are still on the pace car, so that means we'll come by with 5. So I would imagine 4 to go is what we'll get the green light. Let's reset the field. And let's see, did anyone pit? The first person that pit is Musselman. He pitted at 55. So he's going to try to take his last set of fresh tires and send it. But let's reset the field here. Jacob Oster is your leader, followed by Clindy. They've been slugging it out, like I said, for much of the second half of this race. There's Stephen Lee very quietly, although aggressively has worked his way up into third, but it's pretty much been quiet since he's got there. I think he's kind of biding his time. He's really good in these style races. We'll see how he does. Phil Kraus, Dr. Phil, he is up there in 4th. Seb Alexander, he's been at the front all day, and his number 1 nemesis not here today. So he's right now at least making it to the end of this race. Chase Cabry had a moment, possible net code, we're not quite sure, but he fell back to 6th, but he has been up at the front since literally like lap 3 when he made up 12 positions in the first couple of laps. Shadid has also been up in the top 10 all day. For Porty, riding on the apron for some reason. Maybe I wonder if he might be low on fuel and had didn't get enough in. I don't know. That's kind of an odd position to put your car, unless you're trying to save fuel. Then Robert Malechka, there's the name we're watching for. This guy has got the chance for the Triple Crown, winning at Michigan, winning at Indy, and trying to get the P1 Triple Crown Challenge. It pays nothing. It's just a pat on the back and an attaboy, but he is looking to do it. The Triple Crown in IndyCar history has only been achieved once, and that was in 1978 by Allenser Sr., winning at Indy, Pocono, and Ontario. Ty Quilla is in 10th right there. Shimizu is 11th. Jacob Collins is in 15th, and Nathan Serena, who started shotgun on the field in that bright yellow car, he's up 13 spots to P13. William Stearns in the Van Halen mobile. Mr. Niemann, he's a 14th right there. Dustin Kerr's 15th. Musselman, like I said, first car off pit road with fresh tires, looking to do the full send here on these final 4 laps, it looks like, in 16th. Brian Campbell, last week's winner, 17th. Ponto 18th. Roman Zini 19th. White 20th. Andrich 21st, Burge 22nd, and Estrada 23rd. Let's go racing, guys.
Let's do this. 4 laps to go at Auto Club Speedway. Pace car off. Jacob Oster trying to hold off the world here against a charging Robert Malechka and company here. Oster, green flag flies, gets a good launch, but Clemdy stays right in his wheel tracks, and they get a good jump on Stephen Lee. And Lee now with Phil Kraus breathing down his neck as they head into 1 and 2.
I'm going to ride with Robert here. We're going to do the on-car. We're going to follow Robert to the front here.
Oh.
Call the action up front, boys, like you're watching it normally, but we're going to watch from Robert's point of view in these final 4 laps.
Clendy down on the low side. He gets clear of Jacob Oster, and they've opened up a bit of a gap to Lee and Kraus. Can they catch back up and pull everyone else with them?
Looks like they're about to. We got 3 rows of 2 wide each here. And look who's up to 5th now. Chase Cabry, but here comes Phil Cross on the high side, squeezing up on the outside line there.
Beautiful done.
And more haymakers being thrown.
Phil Kraus, what a launch up on the high side there, up into 3rd position, getting right behind Oster and Clemworth. Can Kraus pull one out of his hat?
Here he comes, boys. Here he comes, boys. Here he comes, boys. Here comes Robert to the high side over Seb. 3 wide. We're going into the corner.
3 wide into 1 and 2. Kraus.
Caution. Race is over. And I think it's Kraus.
Kraus was ahead. When the caution came out, it looked like.
Rapporti.
Yeah, there was contact, it looked like.
Rapporti with no rear wing on the back of that car. What is...
Oh,
with
him and Ty Quilla. Yeah, Ty Quilla.
Him and Quilla made contact. So it looks like for the Triple Crown will be denied to Robert Malechka. And it's going to go to the former multi-time Lionheart IndyCar Series champion Phil Kraus on this occasion. White flag in the air.
And yeah, we're watching the replay, and there was a lot of contact there.
Oh yeah.
And that is it.
Rapporti gave no room to Ty Quilla.
Oh.
So we are going to finish under caution here. Kraus just got his nose out in front when the caution came out. We saw there's a car spinning on the backstretch. Who is that?
What has happened?
Benjamin White?
Is it Ben White?
Yeah, it is.
It is. And White has no ring either.
He got ran into by Stearns.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah,
let's get back up to the front to get this checkered flag for Kraus.
Oh, no. But White, looks like the iRacing guys are going to be a bit lenient. Doesn't look like he's happy there. But he is going to keep going to the checkered flag. And Phil Kraus wins at Auto Club Speedway. Oster and Clemdy your top 3, and what a race it was.
Let's go back and see. It was right with Stearns and White. I guess they're decided that it's over. Sure, someone's going to say something about a protest or something after this. But Phil Krause, and we got a little racing after the fact going into 3. But
I was actually looking at it now. It was a huge checkup, and Stearns apparently wasn't paying attention.
And Krause wrecks the chassis with another.
and a Joey Chitwood special on the grass by
Clindy doing his Ryan Briscoe interpretation.
But let's take a look at the points real quick just before this race. Oster is going to make up. Oster and Clindy are going to make up ground on Robert. But Clindy, because he finished 3rd again, isn't going to make up any ground on Oster. So, unfortunately, Clindy is going to get some points, but just not make up any ground in that championship to get to 2nd. Quill is going to make up some ground on Trost, who had the suspension for this weekend and unable to participate. Campbell, not the greatest race, but still finished. He should do well in points. It did as well. There's Raporti, Moskowitz, Morera. So a lot of guys are going to be gaining on a couple of guys here in the lineup who just didn't have a great race, or as more of the Joey Chitwood special is going on in the infield grass. And Muscleman with the new tires did get the purple lap very, very late there. Let's go ahead and queue up some replays real quick, and then we'll get the interviews going on here. Clindy, another podium for him. I'm sure he wanted to finish ahead of Oster there, but we'll see what he has to say. And let's get the final standings in there, shall we? Bill Krause, your winner. Even though started from the back of the field, instead he gained 2 spots on with his victory today.
Yeah,
it's a modest job. Just a modest job. No positions gained for Oster. But 4 laps led for Krause, 6 for Oster, 19 for Clindy. He gained 7 spots. Stephen Lee, a great race for him. Very quietly worked his way up 9 spots to 4th. Chase led. You would think Chase would have led more than what he did. He only led 3 laps, but he improved 12 spots. Pretty much did that all in the first 3 laps. But a top 5 for him. The Triple Crown effort is over for at least this season for King Robert. He is 6th. Seb Alexander wanting a better finish than that 7th. He comes home, but does lead 23 laps there. Comes home in 7th there. Quilla 8th. Shadid 9th. Shimizu in 10th. Moving on back, we have Collins 11th. Muscleman with the purple number there, so he got the purple lap out of that. Dustin Harris 13th. Campbell 14th. Cerna 15th as he improved 11 spots. Stern 16th. Ponto 17th. Roman Zini 18th. For Porty 19th. Benjamin White in 20th. Forlorn Blaze Andrich, he is 21st. Stephen Burge, I think I said Bulge at one point. Sorry about that, Stephen. Stephen Burge, 22nd. Antonio, not a good race for him. One that he'll want to forget. He's in 23rd there. Rinaldi, 24th. Just bring a different livery next time, Ben. That's all. No more Larson liveries. We're putting the ban on those permanently. Lane Doyle, 25th. And Elijah Gilson in 26th. Nice car, 26 car field here. Packed house for Fontana. All right. Let's bring up Clindy. Actually, bring down. That's how they have the voice channels arranged here. Clindy. Another podium, but you didn't really gain much ground on the guy you wanted to in the championship for most. That's a battle for second. That's Jacob. He finished ahead of you.
Yeah, Oster's probably going to get the silver medal for this Olympic season, but I'll be happy to fight it out with Trost for bronze. 3rd place is about the best I could do on broadcast night. Sorry, I put on the best show I could, trying to pass everybody and lead the most laps and impress all my fans in the chat. I see Russell Wood, I see my mom, I see a bunch of people in the chat, so I'm glad that they're all rooting for me, and Glad that I can put this Julia's Kitchen TW Instagram car, the Rogue Racing Cloakmobile, up on the podium yet again, even though thirds is the best I can do.
So at one point, we noticed that, or at least I noticed, you kind of stopped your run to the front and you kind of settled in at 4th, 5th, 6th, right there, just kind of in line. Did you just kind of decide to ride it out for the last part of that first stint instead of race up front? Was that your plan there, or was that just because of the air and the wind and the temperatures was making it tough to race up front?
No, the temperature, everything was perfect. The track was awesome. Hats off to the devs and the setup builders. Everything about this ruled. This is exactly how California should be every time we come here, in my opinion, unless it's a night race. Trace and I worked with him for a few laps, but I was only running map 3, which is a fuel save strategy, and we couldn't pull away from the pack. I gave it, 5 or 6 laps of trying, and when we couldn't do it, I figured I'm going to go full save and save as much fuel as I can so I can have the freshest tires at the end. So that way, 1, I wouldn't get trapped a lap down if a caution came out during the cycle, and then 2, if we had a late race yellow, I could stay out and feel confident in the tires that I had. Both of those things came to fruition, so my strategy played out exactly how I wanted it to, but not as well as for my teammates, unfortunately. They just got shuffled back and couldn't quite execute the same.
A bit of a rough day in the mid-pack, though, for those guys.
Yeah, there was a bunch of sliding around. Bruno killed a car and then saved 2 of our other cars, so we'll send him the check. But I've never had a run-in with Bruno. I think he's generally a good guy. I think he probably just, the hot track bit him.
Shout outs, friends, family, sponsors that you want to say hi to before we let you go. Another podium that seems to be on a bit of a streak here, which is ideally what you want here, especially in the closing weeks of the championship.
Oh, I've actually got a bombshell for you, Gary. A bit of breaking news.
Uh-oh.
Did you know that there will be no more Robert Malechka III interviews on the broadcast this year because he is taking the rest of the season off?
Uh-oh.
He's secured the championship, and he's going to take his ball and go home.
Oh.
So shout-outs to Rob for racing against us clean and fast all season long. Congratulations on the championship for him. And then I want to shout out my wife. Our 4th anniversary is coming up in 2 days.
Wise man. And, yes, very wise man.
My mom, my sister, my brother, everybody in the chat who's cheering us on. It feels really good to have fans. So, and of course my teammates at Rogue Racing. You got Ryan, Ty, Jacob, and Tony, and we're looking to add another member as soon as he graduates. So we'll keep you on the hook, all you Rogue Racing fans about that. We'll send you a little teaser.
All right. Well, congratulations, and wisely thanking the wife and mom. Those are the 2 most important ladies in the life that you should definitely give thank yous to. So props to you for recognizing that, and props to you for finishing 3rd here tonight. We have, let's see, what do we got next on the Kansas coming up next? Another big pack, possible draft pack race that suits your style. So I'm assuming we will see you in the same form next week.
So, Gary, I'm actually going to try to worst to first next week for the first time ever on the broadcast. I see Jacob and Phil and them do it all the time, and I think it's kind of fun. So I know that the first time I was on a broadcast, I finished 2nd doing a worst to first unintentionally because I missed the start. And it ended up being a fuel save race, and I passed Oster on the last lap.
I remember that.
It was really cool. So I'll give you all a little taste next week. I'll go worst to first at Kansas, and then I don't know. If I get the pole, I might try to Grand Slam, but I am terrible at qualifying. So yeah. Thanks so much for having us. Thanks for the broadcast. And I'm sorry that the caution came out just a little bit too late to give you a photo finish with 3 cars under a blanket.
That would have been something.
Had us banked.
That would have been something.
We just couldn't get the script writers to do it that way this week.
And I know it's not like they had to travel very far because you're sitting there next to Hollywood. Well, congratulations. We'll catch you next week, man.
All right. Thanks, y'all.
All right, let's bring down Jacob Oster. Jacob, congratulations on the P2. Almost a win, just by a matter of inches. But right when that caution came out, Phil kind of got you at the timing stripe. Nice run from the rear to the front, although you kind of started with some, wingmen, but you kind of separated yourself away from them and put yourself in kind of a slightly different schedule with those guys as well. How'd you find yourself with more pace than those two other, or at least those three others that started on pit road with you? Because we know that all four of you that started on pit road all had extreme pace to begin with.
I don't really know if I had more pace. I think we were all the same. I burned my tires off a little bit more. I just got bored and realized I wanted to go forward and actually kind of do something.
Okay, so that's fair enough.
I burned my stuff off a little bit, but it didn't really make much of a difference in the end. I finished second again, so.
There was a point, I think, midway through the race, lap 36 or so, I think you made contact with somebody, a little close call there. Just wash up into them, just a little aero wash action there.
Oh yeah, that was interesting. I thought I was dead. For all things considered, after being 30 degrees tilted in turn one, I'm pretty happy about being alive.
Well, I'll say, I mean, you caught it pretty good, and then just kind of resumed, kind of checked up everyone behind you and allowed the group in front of you to kind of separate. But of course, you ran them down. But other than that, kind of talk about the rest of your race. You kind of got up there for the next second half of the race, and you were just slugging it out with Clindy for much of that last stint. How was it racing up front versus in that mid pack?
I mean, this is a good auto club settings, like the high temp, the high track temp with the wind. It makes it a bit of a challenge. You can't just wrap bottom unless you have the car dialed in and the wind's in your favor. It's just it makes you think a little bit more. It prioritizes racecraft over just straight up ripping the bottom. So it is a lot of fun. I wish it was a little bit hotter so we could actually spread out, but you know, it is what it is, and it's still interesting, and we can still kind of move through the field whenever we want.
Shout outs, friends, family, sponsors. You want to say hi to before we let you go?
Thanks for Rob and Bill for having a good time. You know, we just kind of said, yeah, we're going to start in the pits again and see what happens. And I think it goes pretty well for us.
Hey, you ran down that lead group pretty well. So congrats. I've heard that Robert is kind of taking the rest of the season off, probably to focus in on this the Pro Series that's happening right now, and VCO as well. Will we going to see you for the rest of the season to battle it out for P2 there with Clindy, or are you done as well?
I'm gonna just try and get 2,000 points. I have a few drop weeks that are really low, so I just need one good race and I'll get 2,000 to replace one of my drop weeks. But yeah, I'm like kind of like Rob. I'm kind of focused on the Pro Q to VCO side of things because I'm looking on the bright side of that. So I kind of just gotta dig into the roadside and start to run more of those in ovals.
You got it. Understand that. It's a whole different beast when we have to turn left and right. Well, congratulations. Thanks for being a part of it with us, and hopefully we'll see you next week at Kansas, which will probably be a very similar race, unless the conditions dictate otherwise. But congratulations.
Well, it's a night race. You got to have fun.
Yeah, we're going to have fun. It's nighttime's the right time. So we will see you next week, hopefully. But go celebrate that P2.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. And let's bring down Phil. Phil, you kind of stopped your teammate from winning the Triple Crown. You got the last jewel here of the unofficial Triple Crown of the Oval Series. That's Michigan, Indy, Fontana. But a great run for you from the back to the front. Talk about going through that mid-pack, getting up to the front. I'm hearing it was kind of slippy and sliding in the mid-pack. A lot of turbulence, a lot of unpredictable lines and stuff going on. How did it work for you?
Yeah, this track with the weather we've been given is it's pretty slick. Honestly, it's probably my favorite way to run these bigger ovals. I much prefer this to just a pure like 2x2 or 3x3 pack race any day of the week. Obviously, we didn't end the race like that, but the first run was really fun, managing the tires, the tools, and all that, and just slowly working forwards with Jacob and Rob as the run went on.
Thoughts coming to 4 to go with that green flag. Anything can happen in those when we have these pack races when you're sprinting to the end. Was it chippy up there at all? I mean, we kind of were watching from Robert's point of view as he tried to make a run from 8th up into that pack. What was it like in that last 4 laps for you? Well, actually last 2 laps because we went caution, but then we went 2 to go with the caution. But how was it running that last sprint?
I mean, it was pretty aggressive, but that's just it's the nature of how you have to race on the big ovals in this car. Short ovals, not really as many opportunities to really race super aggressively because you're more limited by the dirty air. Like usually you're limited to a 2-car battle at the short ovals, but track like this, it's so wide. Like, we could have gone top five wide if we really wanted to, but yeah, it was clean. It was fun. I got lucky with the timing of the yellow, but I think I timed my move pretty well as well. But I don't know if I'd be able to hold it because the bottom tended to be a bit weaker than the middle, and obviously if I just give someone the bottom, they'll take that like candy from a baby and rip the lead away that way. But yeah, got pretty lucky.
What's next for Phil Kraus? Of course, we got Pro Series qualifier this week and some other things going on. How are those going for you?
Yeah, just focusing on the Pro qualifiers and the VCO IndyCar Challenge. Obviously, I didn't start off the Pro Q on the best foot, so just looking to recover ground in that. I've only scored points in one race, and I'm 60th, so it's looking good. Just if I can continue that pace, should be able to make it pretty.
Good luck on that charge to top 33. It's still a couple more races to go. We got plenty of time, so we're holding out hope for all the regulars in the community. We did realize that that Long Beach race was not really good for all the community regulars for whatever reason, but at least everybody rebounded well at Indianapolis. Best of luck in the remaining races for the qualifier. But
everyone except me.
Congratulations here at Fontana, and maybe if you're feeling up to it, we'll see you next week.
Yeah, we'll see, Gary, and yeah, just gotta keep chipping away results in the Pro Q, and we'll see what happens.
Got it. Best of luck.
Yep, cheers.
All right, boys. Another semi-typical Fontana racing. Fontana race. A lot of if you go back, if someone wants to do that meme with our voices where we're going ooh ah ooh, ooh, you're going to hear a lot of that. It's just one of those typical races here where it's just everything's so fast, wheel to wheel, so close that it literally takes your breath away.
If anything, I'd love to see that sort of video pop up because this track, it really does bring it out of people. It really makes for these tense moments, this really close action, and it really is sad to see it, and to see the real-life California Speedway gone to the pages of history. But it's always a joy to be back here in the virtual world. And from what Clendy was saying, like he wouldn't have the race, like the race we had, he wouldn't have had the cars drive any other way because it was close. It was a fight all through and through. You actually were fighting side by side, 3 wide, 4 wide. That is the kind of racing that we love to see at these big tracks. And the short track stuff has its own charms. There's no doubt about that. But sometimes you just gotta love a 220 mile an hour 4 wide brawl on a bumpy track like California Speedway. And to have it be a race where a possible Triple Crown was denied in dramatic fashion, that's always a great show, I think. And I get the feeling that since the Kansas race next week's gonna be run at night, we're gonna have even more fun out in the cornfields.
Justin, did you have fun?
Stevie said.
Yeah.
How many times I've said that already, but it's just like, dude, you literally just read my mind about what I was going to say.
LGN, next week's Kansas. You're just a couple weeks off of getting a win there at Kansas in the NASR. What are your thoughts about Kansas next week at night?
It's going to be a nice, so it's just only pack race, basically. Everybody's going to be 1 second between 1 to 15, so who take the pole and who take the inside is gonna be the win the race, I guess. Maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure. So I thought it's gonna be today 3 or 4 cautions, but it was only 1 and was 4 to go. So yeah, so let's see what's happened. Maybe the setup is gonna be different, or maybe it's gonna be hot, or maybe it's gonna be 23 degree. I don't know how much in Fahrenheit.
Celsius, yeah.
80 something. So who knows? I don't know. Maybe I hope it's gonna be a hard setup for everybody, and see if it's no pack race today. That day, sorry. But good for. Hey, I wanna say something. So it's 3 to go. So Clendy had to fight. He had to fight to the end. So it's still 3 to go. So he can catch the second place anyway. So. He cannot give up for that.
I don't think he's going to give up at all. And I think that battle for second place is going to be fun to watch.
It's 95 points.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yep. That's one good finish and one bad finish, and all of a sudden that gap's closed. So that's it for tonight. Once again, your podium here from Fontana is Phil Kraus. Gets the win there, just edging out Jacob Oster basically at the last timing line when the caution came out. And Kyle Glenworth finishes third, yet another podium for him this season. Join us again next week for round 10 of the IndyCar Oval Series Tuesday night top split on ERN as we head back to the Heartland in Kansas Speedway. Coverage as always begins around 8:15 p.m. Eastern. Again, that's 8:15 p.m. Eastern, and it will be right here on the Elite Racing Network channel, of course, until the end of the season. As always, you can find all the correct broadcast times in your area on YouTube at youtube.com. Just search up Elite Racing Network. Elite Racing Network. Hey, we love bringing these races to you. They're not easy and require time and money to produce. Because of your generosity and donations, we're going to be able to bring you IndyCar Oval action nearly sponsor-free. If you share our passion for the sport of IndyCar, and we know you do, and you enjoyed our coverage of the IndyCar Oval Series Tuesday night top split, and we know you have, please take time to visit our GoFundMe page. The link is in the description, and donate to our 2024 broadcast fund. We realize times are tough, so any contribution will be greatly appreciated. And we thank you for watching and making us part of your Tuesday evenings each and every week. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not easy, so please help support P1 and ERN with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below and let us know you thought of tonight's race. And if you enjoyed tonight's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video. And everyone that participated in chat and shouted out their favorite drivers, thank you very much. We appreciate you making chat interactive. It always makes our race that much more interesting and fun. If you're new, click subscribe and hit the bell for weekly reminders so I'll miss out on more of other P1 and ERN's other iRacing programming, including the Elite Racing League's Warriors for Peace IndyCar Series, which will have round 2 this Thursday at Motegi. I and Derek Vance will be in the booth for that. You won't want to miss it. That's going to be at 7:45 roughly p.m. Eastern time on Thursday. Again, it's at Motegi. Caleb Benzie won the first race at Homestead. Join us for round 2, will ya? To learn more about the Elite Racing League and how to sign up for their upcoming IndyCar season, or their current IndyCar season now, join their Discord. The invite is in the description. Track cams for this race are provided by Whiplash Sim Cams. Get the most out of your iRacing experience with the Whiplash Sim Cams. To learn more about Whiplash, like them on Facebook or follow them on Twitter. Links are in the description. So, for Stephen Larkamp, Justin Petschauer, Luis Gonzalez Nunez, everyone here at P1 and ERN, I'm Gary Gotzo saying to all good night and thanks for watching. And to all our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Catch us again right here next week at Kansas Speedway for the next race of the IndyCar Oval Series Tuesday night top split. Good night.